Hello, welcome to a new video. Today's topic is poker coaching, or more specifically, how much do you have to pay to get coached? Even though I am a professional poker player and coach myself, I promise to be very honest. I'm biased, of course. I've made money with this game, and I think most of you who work hard will be able to make money with this game. But I will be honest and point out exactly who I think should pay as little as possible and who should not even get poker coaching at all. If you see Rafa Nadal here, I promise this is not random. The picture is, obviously I found one where he's playing poker, but the reason I chose him on the picture is because through him I will make you understand whether poker coaching is worth it and how much you should really pay. So if you want to see my tennis analogy, stay tuned in this video. The reason for it is that I get inquiries on email, Discord, Instagram about my poker coaching and the price I charge, and after I reply I receive all sorts of reactions from people saying it's great value to people saying it's too expensive or people not replying at all. So given for me it's very important to make transparent what I'm offering and whether I really think it's worth it for you, I'm doing this video. For those of you who have contacted me before, you know I usually ask for your goals. I ask for the goals to see how many sessions I offer, what I think makes sense to you, but also to tell you, look, for what you're looking for, I'm not the correct coach. I really try to be as transparent as possible. Here's the moment I had the idea about making this video. You see someone is inquiring about the price of coaching, and then after I explained what I do and how much I charge, they said that the amount of dollar is a bit too expensive. Usually I say okay, but here I decided to explain why I charge the amount I charge, because there's some variance also in poker inquiries. It's not only when you play that sometimes you run good, sometimes you run bad. This was a day, like 3 people in a row, they replied me, this is expensive. So I was like, okay, wait, I'm going to explain why I charge the amount I charge. And then I thought, no, it's better to just make a video so everyone who follows me knows more about it. By the way, there's no offense taken here. I actually like those replies because then I know that the person just believed that poker coaching is a low investment, and it's much better for me than someone who just doesn't reply at all after I reply, because then I'm not sure whether they disagree with my coaching methodology or whether they just think the amount is too high or whether they just change their mind for whatever reason. So yeah, any feedback is appreciated. And now I want to show you the opposite reaction. Here it is, after a quick conversation, and I again explained what I do and how much I charge. The person said, fair price, I will definitely have you in mind for near future. A feedback obviously I was happy about. And now let's start to talk about you, whether I believe the poker coaching makes sense for you. As promised, I will start with a tennis analogy because I really believe this makes sense for you to understand how much to invest in a poker coach. So what I did for this was to Google how much does a tennis coach charge, and then the results, one of the first ones were this ones on lessons.com. It is between $25 and $90 on average, and saying obviously it greatly depends on the region you live, of course extending the country you live, etc. And now my question is for those of you who play tennis as a hobby, pure hobby, all you want is have fun, and you've seen this range of a price. Do you really need to pay $90 an hour? Probably not. If you find someone who's charging $30, $40, that's probably great enough. You'll have fun the same way. If you've barely had a racket twice in your life before, do you need to even pay the $25? Maybe you find a high school student who knows how to play tennis and, they help you a little bit and charge you $10. Maybe you have a friend and they teach you for free. So there's no need to invest the $90. If you've never played it before, if you play it purely for fun and all you want to do is hit a couple of balls. On the other hand, if you are competing, maybe you're about 16, you have the dream of improving and one day making it, you're probably looking for someone who is charging 90 or even more. And the same applies to poker coaching. It really depends on your ambition and your goals, what you want to take out of it. And now back to the person we had in the first image. Rafa Nadal is looking for a new tennis coach. I'm not sure if he is, but I'm saying this example. Who would he want to coach him and how much would he pay? $25 an hour, $50 or $90 an hour? I'd assume more because he's an elite player, one of the best players in the world, and his goal is to end his career with the most Grand Slam titles ahead of Djokovic. Who would he need to coach him for? Probably someone who not only is good, because he's already very good, so he doesn't need someone who is better than him, but can help him with his strategy. So maybe someone who knows the player pool, who he's up against. And I have a great suggestion. This person, Roger Federer, with a beautiful one-handed backhand. Think about it. Federer has played him over almost 2 decades, so knows everything about his game. So who better than him to tell him about his weaknesses, the outside perspective on his game, and he will also know all his opponents because he's played against him, so he will give him maybe a different approach he hasn't thought about before on how to beat Djokovic, how to beat the other opponents. And I'm sure he charges quite a lot because he was an elite player himself. He can probably charge 2 million a year and Nadal will take him. This is just a guess, maybe it's more, but imagine 2 million a year, obviously per hour, that's a lot more than the average tennis coach charges. In poker, this is not much different. A high-stakes crusher who plays $5,000, $10,000 on a table can charge $1,000 an hour, and other high-stakes player will hire him as a coach. Not necessarily because he's that much better, but because he has a different perspective on your game. He has analyzed your game. He will be aware of some leaks you have that you don't even know. He will know some leaks of your opponents that you don't know. And all this is so much valuable because if you play tables where you buy in with $10,000, of course you can pay a couple of thousand for coaching every now and then per hour, and the return you have is likely greater. But this is not the case for you who are just beginning to take the game serious and want to take the next step. You do not need to pay this much. So now let's have a look how much the average poker coach charges. I did the same as for the tennis coaching and Googled it, and one of the first articles that came was from a site called POKER with CAIR. And this is one of the articles. I'm not sure from which year this is, but basically they say that high-stakes coaches can charge more than $500 an hour, mid-stakes coaches somewhere between $50 and $200 an hour, and for lower stakes you even find coaches for less than $50 an hour. So this is the important point to consider. What is your current level? If you are a beginner, you haven't played poker before, to know the rules, you don't need to take someone who charges $200 an hour to just tell you the rules. Actually, you find the rules for free on the internet. If you barely know what a c-bet is, a 3-bet is, of course you'll find someone who charges below $50 an hour. However, once you know the rules, you know the basic terms, you've had some experience playing microstakes, and most importantly, you know this is a game you want to take seriously. This is a game you believe you can make money, you have the discipline for it, and your dream is to make money with it. Then you need to consider whether it's enough to having a coach who just beats NL25, or you want someone who is a little bit better, who can better help you to reach the mid-stakes quickly and build your strategy that already beats 50 NL, 100 NL. Key thing to consider is, do you already beat the microstakes, and are you sure about your goals? If you're sure is you want to be playing mid-stakes as quickly as possible, you might as well already start taking the coach who is beating mid-stakes themselves. And with this calculator, I'm going to show you why a poker coach charges more or less the $50, $100, $200 an hour. My main stake is 200 NL, and at 200 NL, let's say I have 5 big blind. This is not necessarily what I have, but let's say on average someone who plays 200 NL professionally. They can have 5 big blinds, so 5 times 2, this is $10 per 100 hands. So let's say you average 500 hands an hour, you take this times 5, and you are about $50 an hour playing. The thing is, when you coach, if you coach for the same amount, you're already passing on information to other people. So you're even exposing yourself a little bit, but more so you are helping other people to reach your games. If you take the 50 times 6, this is what you can make on average in a day, but obviously some people play more than 6 hours, less than 6 hours. They play more than 500 hands an hour or less. And if you take this for a week, then you have a weekly average. Maybe, I'm not even sure this is the average, but just to have a rough idea how much you can earn at 200 NL, 1,800 a week. And then this obviously times 4 will make you a monthly income on average, but it's swingy poker of 7,200. And then let's say you play 10 months a year because 1 month you travel and the other month you just don't want to play. This is something you can earn in a year. So obviously if you want to get coached, remember your coach, if he's just playing, this is what he can be earning, and he's helping you to earn this. So is it a lot to pay 100 an hour? Let's say for 10, 20, 30 hours, 40 hours even. Or to make it 50 hours, a round number. Let's say you hire someone for 50 hours, paying them 100 per session, then you're paying $5,000. If you're guaranteed after this $5,000 investment to be making $5,000 a month by playing yourself, is this a good price? I think almost everyone would say yes. Of course, I'm hiring someone for $5,000 if then after I'm guaranteed to earn $5,000 a month. And this is the logic behind poker coaching, and this is why the values are high. The sad thing about this and the risk about this obviously is that you aren't guaranteed to win. So this is why some people offer coachings for profits or even staking. Staking means you play with the coach's money and basically keep half and give the coach half of what you earn. But let's make the calculation. Let's say you are a 50 NL player. You make 6 times 50 cents per 100 hand. This is per 100 hand 6 big blinds. This is $3, and let's say you can make 600 hands per hour because at NL 50 more games run, so you can always find more tables. You'd make 18 per hour. Times 6, 108 a day, and times 6 again, 648 a week if you take one day off. Times 4, 2,500 per month. And if we again do it times 10 months a year, you take 2 off, you get to 26,000. This is obviously just an example. You can calculate for yourself whether you think you play 8 hours a day, maybe only 500 hands an hour, 400 hands an hour. It depends. But imagine someone playing 1 year of 50 NL being staked or coached for profits. And this is what they earn, 26,000. If they give half of this to the coach, they are paying $13,000 for a year of coaching. That's essentially what it is. So the advantage of staking is that you don't need to have the money beforehand. You play and they can put you on the stake that they believe you beat and give you the money and you start earning straight away. The disadvantage is though that you pay more per hour. Many CFBs don't even have one-on-one sessions, it's only group sessions, and then you talk to your peers and then they send you lots of materials that you study by yourself. So the value on a one-on-one session with a good coach, I believe, is higher. You end up paying the coach much less than these 26,000 divided by 2, so 13,000 in a year. I'd say it depends on your level you're starting at and the level you want to get to. And of course you can change coaches, by the way. It's not only that you need the same coach for all of your career. But let's say you take 10 sessions, 5 sessions even for the start, then study by yourself, then 5 more, 10 more sessions, etc. You will get to a good level and probably reach your goals with a lower investment than this. So to conclude this video, the first thing you need to decide is whether you are a recreational player or whether you want to become a semi-professional or even professional player. If you are the recreational player, there's lots of free material on YouTube that if you study it, it will take you longer than with a coach, but you can study the free material and be beating microstakes. If you are taking the game serious, do you already have some money to invest in coaching, yes or no? If yes, I would start with this option. However, keep in mind, a coach capable of helping you to reach 100 NL is usually playing 200 NL and can make more than $50 an hour by playing. So he's not going to give information away and help you make a lot of money for let's say $100 an hour. If you are serious about your game and want the risk-free variant, the CFP may be the best options, but keep in mind it will end up more expensive if you make it. If you are convinced you can make it, I recommend looking for a good coach. And if you are a recreational player, just check out the free material on this YouTube and other channels. They will help you improve. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one.